He said it because of his wet blanket energy.
Unhinged. That's actually unhinged.
Hello and welcome to She's All Batch. I'm Stefanie.
And I'm Jackie.
And we don't care if you're here for the right reasons. We're just happy that you're here.
So join us as we talk shit about our favorite show. Woo! Wow, it feels good to even hear that opening line because we finally are talking shit about our favorite show once again. I feel like it's been a minute.
Well, I mean, technically, we're always talking shit about our favorite show. This is just our standard. If you've been a day one FOTS, this is the type of episode you started with in 2021. That's where we started. And this is what our episodes
been doing
were.
This since 2021, you know.
And every single episode started with that. And every single episode ended, which still ends with bye bitches. Every single one. That one's never going to stop. That's easy to keep in. But yeah, so this is going to be like a typical old school episode. We have some Bachelor Encounters and you'll find out what all this is about if you're new here. But should we get into it, Jackie?
I think we should. I'm so excited.
Go ahead. Do you forget?
Oh my God, I did forget.
She
wow,
knew she did.
It's been too long. Okay. Wow, now you guys can see me do the whole thing. Me. All right, guys, let's creep. Woo, the crowd goes wild. Woo.
Iconic. Okay, so there is a TikTok that Jason Tartick and Tyler Cameron did that all of you guys sent me. So Jason and Tyler did the suspects, when you're running away from the cop and the cop's like, suspect looks like blah, blah, blah. You know the trend?
Yeah. Where it's like, where? Or no, right? That's not it.
It's kind
That's
of,
a
it's
different
honestly,
one where it's
like
like
a spin-off of it.
Yeah,
it's a spin-off
yeah.
of it. It's just like if you were running and I'd be like,
yeah, what would you say for me?
well, it has to be a little roasty, so I don't want to be like mean, but I would be like, if I were to be funny roasty, I'd be like, suspect makes seeing Wicked her entire personality. But I'd be kidding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which, speaking of, guys, I'm seeing it today.
Oh yeah, today's Wicked Day. Happy Wicked Day. So let's play, well, what would be mine?
Like suspect cries when a stranger says something to them on the internet or something. Like,
fine.
I don't know.
Okay, so basically, if you don't know the trend, you're basically supposed to run away from the cops, and then the other person is supposed to say something kind of like roasting you. And the things that they chose to roast each other about, it's pretty interesting. So let's watch it.
Suspect told Becca that he's over 6 foot when actually he's only 5'9".
That's not true.
Suspect's best personality trait is taking his shirt off in public.
Oh, we're doing that, huh?
Suspect only dates girls if they have over 1 million followers.
Oh my God. Fuck you.
That's the one that's getting the most attention because that's true.
And I think it's very telling that his close personal friend is like calling him, like, you know, we've said that obviously about Jason before, but I think if someone wanted to defend him, they could argue like, hey, it's just a coincidence. He dated Caitlyn just because he happened to date Caitlyn, then he happened to date Kat, like just because they're both influencers, like that doesn't necessarily mean that's what Jason's like looking for. However, the fact that his close friend Tyler also called him out on it, I think shows that there's a higher level of truth to it, that he's a little clout chasey.
I mean, I still think it. And also he said that he's 6 whatever, but he's really 5'9". He made a follow-up TikTok like debunking it, also doing another trend on TikTok. And one of the comments was like, is that really the only thing you want to debunk from the video, is that you're not 5'9"? That was his bigger
he's like,
concern.
that's the only one that I need to like defend. That's not true. Everything else, you got me.
And I'm sorry, Tyler taking off your shirt, that is your entire personality. And we can all laugh at that. So far, Tyler's winning in this little game.
Yeah.
Suspect thought it was a good idea to take a supermodel out to a date, have his dad pay for it, and then launch their entire relationship at a funeral.
Also true. And I didn't think you would go there given he's talking about his mom's funeral. Where's the line?
I don't think he's talking about his mom's funeral. He's talking about when they were seen in public, Gigi and him, it was at like her grandma's funeral. And that's why people were like, whoa, this must be really serious. Because they were spotted at Dumbo House on their little date. And I think people were like, is this serious? What's happening? And then he went with her to her grandma's funeral. And I think that's when people were like, whoa, that's like a big step for someone you've just been on one date with to like attend your whole thing with your family. So I thought that's what they were talking about.
Okay,
but,
no, you're right. I remember those pictures of them standing at the funeral and I was like, damn.
Which is so crazy to think about now, that like, especially because their relationship was like such a weird blip. Like clearly it didn't go anywhere for a long period of time, but like you brought him to your grandma's funeral. Like, he's always going to be the guy you took to your grandma's funeral. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take that back. That's a big, like, important event in your family's life. And he's always going to be there.
Yeah, but how many people do you remember, like, if it weren't for the paparazzi photos, would you even remember who went to a funeral?
I personally remember who goes to funerals in my own, like, family's life. You know what I mean? Just because there's no photos of it. Like, if I brought some random guy to a grandparent's funeral, like, that's always going to be the guy that came with me to my grandpa's funeral. Like, it's just, like, that's a big event. And for it to be someone you briefly dated for, like, a month is kind of crazy.
Are we bringing dates to funerals now? Is that
I
a thing?
don't really think so. Well, that's also another conversation. But I think that just goes to show for, like, the blip of time that they dated, how, like, serious it was. Because, like, no, you don't bring, like, a date to a funeral in the way you bring a date to, like, a wedding. But if you have a significant other who's important in your life, like, they would go to the funeral with you to support you and be there for your family. So the fact that he did that and sat with her whole family, like, they must have had a thought at one point that it was going to become more serious, right?
Yeah.
And then also, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. But, like, what a time. Wow.
But then the whole beginning of that, his first date, the dad paid for. I've heard of this and heard that this is true. And clearly there is truth to it.
Yeah, he's talked about it.
Why did the dad pay for it?
Because he had no money. He had just come off of Hannah's season and had no job and legitimately had no money. Had to call his dad, be like, hey, Dad, could you, like, Venmo me $200 so I can take Gigi Hadid on a date? He's spoken about that before. He had like $2 in his bank account and asked his dad to give him money so he could pay for the date.
Hannah Brown should have known about that, the fact that you had $2 in your bank account and couldn't afford to go on a date. Because, like, I don't know, you go on the show and to me, you were a working model, right? Or no, he was in construction. That was his job on Hannah's season. But in reality, you had nothing in your bank account. I think those are things that should be discussed on the show. And I think these are reasons why couples don't last. I would, if Hannah chose him and they got engaged and they go into the real world and she learns that her fiance has $2 in his bank account, you don't think that would be like...
Yeah, but I think, like, no one has money on the show because they have to, like, quit their jobs to go on it. Most people. I know some people work something out and go back.
I don't know. Am I crazy to think
in this economy, who has savings?
Sure, maybe today, but this was like how many years ago?
But he was like, but these kids are young. These kids, like, literally, he's my same age. At the time, was what? 25, like, they're right out of college. Like, a lot of these contestants, they're, like, right out of college. They haven't really worked many, like, real jobs. Like, the show puts fake jobs on their thing. They had to leave those fake jobs to go be on the show. I don't know.
Okay, let's finish the rest of it.
Suspect said he really loves his dogs, but really just wants an excuse to keep talking to his ex.
I don't believe that, though. Do you? I feel like Jason wants nothing to do with Caitlyn.
We don't know. I kind of agree. That's my initial feeling, but I don't think Tyler would say that if there wasn't some truth to it. Or maybe his friends just think it's, like, weird that they still talk as much as they do because of the dogs. And he's like, no, but, like, because of the dogs. I don't know.
I don't know why everyone cares about these dogs so much. Like, everywhere I'm in, like, all these different Facebook groups, people are still talking about it. And the latest I heard is that she just has them now. Like, he doesn't see them.
Wait, did he say that? Or
no, that's what literally
that's just your assumption.
That's what a comment in a Facebook group that I'm in said.
Ah, yes. The official comment in a Facebook group, the reliable source.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
Suspect sees a comment in a Facebook group and thinks it's, like, real evidence.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't care who has the dogs.
And also, weren't the dogs very much Caitlyn's dogs? Like, they were her dogs before they got together. I don't think they got them as a couple, or I could be wrong on that.
I think they did. I think, no, they got them together.
Oh,
I remember Caitlyn saying, well, because Caitlyn became obsessed with golden retrievers with Sean's dog, it was Sean's dog, but they lived together. So Caitlyn, like, became really attached to him. Then they broke up, and then she got two of the same-ish type of dog with Jason. And I remember her saying on Nick's podcast, like, you know, I don't want Sean to be mad at me. Like, I have the dogs, I have the guy, I have this. And, like, she basically, like, recreated her life with Sean, with Jason. So I know that they got them together.
Oh, okay. That does make it a little different.
Suspect owns a construction company, but it's done more construction on his jawline than he has on real estate.
He's done more construction on his jawline? There's no way.
Why do you say no way? You don't think maybe he got a little filler fill?
Oh, maybe. Does that count as construction on your jawline?
Well, yeah. What else would it be?
Like reconstructing your jaw, like moving the bones around.
Like a full-on facelift plastic surgery?
Maybe,
versus,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I thought it was implying, well, and maybe he did get some sort of work done in that way, but I thought it was implying that he's been getting fillers and stuff, which I wouldn't put it, like, sure. I mean, who isn't these days getting Botox and fillers? Like, I just think that's a natural, it's the way the world works.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. Also, something that I think is, like, are Jason and Tyler friends? Alexa, shut up. Alexa, stop.
You didn't even say her name.
I know. She's just inserting herself into every conversation. Since when are Tyler and Jason friends?
Well, you know what's funny? This video reminded me of, remember New Year's Eve when Tyler was with Kristen Cavallari?
Yeah.
And they went out with Jason and Caitlyn. And the video we covered in Creep. And Jason's like, Tyler, what's going on with Kristen? And Tyler's like, what's going on with Caitlyn? Like, the world thinks you're breaking up. And Jason's like, no. Tyler, what's going on with Kristen? And we're like, shut up, Jason. Like, just stop deflecting.
What are you doing here in Nashville, buddy?
Yeah, just trying to figure out what's going on with you and Caitlyn.
Ty, what's going on with you here in Nashville, buddy?
Why you get so bashful? I asked you about you and Caitlyn yesterday.
Are you single?
Are you strong?
Are you single? I'm weak. Are you strong? Are you single?
Single since, single.
You're single. So what are you doing here in Nashville, Tennessee?
I love the smell of burnt pine.
So they definitely are friends. They know each other. I don't know how often they hang out and do TikToks, but
yeah, I thought that was just a situation where, like, because Kristen obviously lives in Nashville, and so does Caitlyn and Jason at the time. Or I guess he still does live there. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if it was, but like it's not like they were on the same season. So I just think that's like a little strange. But I know it's a very like incestuous community.
Okay, when you think about the most fashionable person in Bachelor Nation, chances are JoJo Fletcher comes to mind. I mean, the girl has the best style, and it's no surprise that she has teamed up with Cupshe to create the most iconic holiday party collection. I actually am wearing one of the pieces from the collection. I'm wearing the fuzzy cutout knit sweater. So if you're watching on YouTube, you could check out how that looks on me. I'm only accepting compliments though, so don't be rude. But for real, this collection has the perfect looks for every Friendsgiving event, New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving with your family, Christmas, office holiday party. You have a crush you want to impress? You're going to want to go check out JoJo's Cupshe party collection, because I know I'm going to be turning heads in my olive green boat neck sleeveless mini dress that I got with the olive green long line blazer. Guys, go check it out on the site. It is so cute. To check out JoJo's collection, click the link in our episode description and be sure to use code BACH15, BACH15 for 15% off all orders over $69. That's code BACH15 for 15% off all orders over $69. The link is in our episode description. Also, just message me if you can't find the link. I got you. Happy shopping. Okay, there's so many things to be thankful for this holiday season, but top of my list, next to you guys, after the FOTS, it is definitely my Honey Love crossover bra. Guys, if you have not tried this bra, we've told you about it so many times. I truly ask, what are you waiting for? I mean, say goodbye to uncomfortable underwire and bulky fabrics and say hello to truly the most comfortable bra you will ever put on your body. I don't care what size you are. I've told you guys, I'm blessed in the boob department. And this bra without an underwire lifts my boobs better than any other bra I've ever worn. And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on the shapewear, because the fabric is so comfortable, I don't even want to take it off. And this is coming from someone who previously hated shapewear. Also, their shapewear uses targeted compression technology, so you don't feel like you're suffocating the curves that you want to show off. It only sucks you in the areas you want to be sucked in. But don't just take my word for it. Head over to honeylove.com/she'sallbatch20 and see for yourself. This November only, Honeylove is giving up to 50% off site-wide. So head to honeylove.com/she'sallbatch20 onlylove.com/she'sallbatch20. That's she'sallbatch20. Type in that entire hyperlink and shop their sale, and make sure to let them know that She's All Batch sent you when the survey asks. Well, moving on to other stories. So did you hear the original story that Pete Davidson was dating
Yeah, I did.
Maria Georgas? And then she debunked
Georges,
the rumors.
you mean? Isn't
Yes,
it
I just
Georges?
Yes.
Oh, Maria. Oh, you were making a joke, a little joke.
You get it? Originally, a report circulated that Pete Davidson allegedly checked himself into rehab after finding himself in bad shape because he split from Maria. And Maria has since debunked the rumors. I just like how you're telling me there's zero truth to this? Like they never even made out or kissed? Like I just don't get how they can go and make a story that's literally from nothing.
Well, so what did Maria say to like debunk it? Because
So
just
she
because she
said-
says it doesn't necessarily make it true.
Well, she said, never dated Pete, false rumors. I'm friends with his sister, case closed. Just spoke to his sister. He's not in rehab and he's been sober for months. Can't believe this shit. It's very insulting to his recovery and my mental health. He's literally home. I agree. Like if the report's going out saying that you're checking back into rehab when you clearly have a history of substance abuse issues, like is that not really messed up?
No, that is
I
messed
just
up.
like were you guys never seen together? Were you like it just seems
No,
really
well, that's the
far-fetched.
thing. Well, the fact that she's saying, oh, she's friends with his sister, they clearly were then seen together. And that's maybe where this story is coming from, which doesn't make it right that journalists can just like do that. I wonder where the rehab piece of it is coming from. Because I do think with most of the stuff, even though I know like tabloids lie all the time, I always think there's like a little twinge of truth somewhere. Like for the Maria and Pete thing, for example, it's like, okay, they weren't actually dating, but like someone did see them together and she's confirming she's friends with his sister. So like that's plausible. So it's like, where does the rehab piece come into this? Where like, what's this little seed of truth that got them to, oh, now he's back in rehab?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I don't know.
messed up though.
So messed
And
up.
maybe it's like an easy target because they know they can say that and people maybe wouldn't question it, which is even more messed up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just love Maria not letting rumors sit. She just like nips them right away. And I love that.
I miss our girl. Like I wish she
well,
was on TV more. I do need to text her and be like, wait, girl, when's your contract up?
Well, it's going to be a while.
I
Gary's girls are only done in December.
Right. So that
She
was
was
what,
after
maybe
that.
a year?
She'll be probably early next year. Unless she's committed to Paradise, which she probably is, guys.
I don't know. I know we have differing views on this, but I think she's retired from a Bachelor person. She's like she's trying for Tyler Cameron status, where she's like, the only way to go is down. I will never go back on this show, and she's gonna try to like build something outside of. But she also needs to like start if that's her plan, because it's like I feel like she hasn't done anything. Like remember we thought she was gonna have a Call Her Daddy podcast thing, and
Yeah, I
like
don't know
where's
what's
that?
going on with that.
And
Well,
if
why
she
didn't you
launches
ask her when
podcast
you met
now, I
her?
don't want that.
I know you.
What did I ask her when I met her?
No, you
What do you
should have
mean?
asked her.
Oh, I know. It was like not, it was like a very quick interaction. I told you guys about it, but I don't know. It didn't feel like the time to be like, hey, why didn't you go start your own podcast on the Unwell Network? Girl, your 15 minutes of fame are almost up. Like you should try to do this, blah, blah, blah. Like,
But are they? I feel like just the fact that a report came out that she was dating Pete Davidson and no one batted an eye proves that her 15 minutes are not even close to up. Imagine if it
maybe.
said Pete Davidson was dating Sydney from Joey's season. Everyone would be like, what? Why?
Yeah.
How did
Yeah.
that happen? I was like, damn, girl. Like, get it. That's awesome. The fact that she's like on that level,
yeah.
it is kind of crazy because essentially all she really did in the public eye was be on one season of The Bachelor, and she's being like treated
Yeah.
like a very high level reality star.
Right. It's giving like Vanderpump level of like
Yeah.
reality
Or
star.
like
and those
Nick
people have been on
Viall.
TV for 10 plus years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like
Right.
Nick, who's been on like 97 seasons of the show. Like she's made the same name for herself as other people, but she had to do a lot less.
Yeah.
Dare I say it's because she's Georges.
Gorgeous.
I really do
Gorgeous
think, like,
Georges. That should
People,
have been,
she's just insanely gorgeous to look at that
know.
people just want her to be in the spotlight.
have I said this before, but that should have been her screen name when she was
Yes, we
in
did
middle
say
school.
it. I'm so Georges.
Gorgeous Georges.
All right, well, moving on. All right, it is time for Bachelor Encounters. That's where you guys submit your stories of meeting Bachelor Nation in the wild. We read about those stories on air, and it's a good time.
Such
That's
a good
all
time.
from memory. I didn't even rehearse that one.
Well,
Some things
it's
are
just
just
in your soul. You just
really
know
is.
it by heart.
Someone writes, "Hi, Stephanie. My friend had a great encounter with Matt James. She was waitressing in New York City, and Matt came in as a customer. Just him, no Rachel. She was his server, so she introduced herself and told him that she loved his food reviews. She said she was very starstruck and shocked at how hot he is in person." Did she say that to him or just to us? She said he was a lovely customer. Midway through his meal, her shift was ending, so she introduced the new server to him. He thanked my friend and even gave her a hug. I've now had multiple friends and myself who've had lovely encounters with him in New York City. He seems like a genuinely happy, nice person. I mean, we've heard nothing good. We've heard nothing but good things about Matt James, so I'm not surprised. But if you and your other multiple friends have had encounters, you should submit those too.
The one thing that I think is weird about this is that he gave the server a hug. Like she comes over to be like, "Hey, I'm closing out for the night, and like this will be your new server." Like as one does, like that happens a lot at restaurants.
Yeah.
That's not that weird. But to be like, okay, a normal person would just be like, "Okay, thanks." But to like get up and be like, "Oh, I miss you so much. Oh my
Maybe
God, give me a
they really
hug."
bonded.
Yeah, sure. Don't you just think that's a little weird?
Not for Matt James, honestly. I feel like he's just like so lovey and Winnie the Pooh-esque that it's normal for him to get up and hug his waiter. I want to know what
guess.
happens with the tip. What happens with the tip?
I don't.
Do you
actually
split it?
know.
Because that's not fair. Because what if you take over and then he's like, "All right, I'm done." You get half the tip.
I don't know how that works. And people who have worked in the restaurant industry, I guess, sound off and let us know.
I have before and I don't know the answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a good waitress, so I wouldn't know. But like, also, you have to trust. Let's say you take the first half, then you leave. I take over, but then the customer's like, "I'm done." I get the tip, and then it's up to me to give you half. What if I just say like, "Oh yeah, she only gave me this," and then I stiff you? It's a trust
Right.
game.
Well,
What's
I don't
going
know
on
how
here?
it works because it's like, don't they have to put the tips into the computer?
I
I guess
thought-
only if they do it on card, right? That's why
Yeah,
they want cash
cash you
tips because
don't.
then they can just take it. Or don't they pool tips at some point?
I did.
I think some restaurants do that because then they also give tips to like the bus people and the people working like behind the scenes more. So it's not like you just as a server only get like those tips. Like I think maybe they pool all the tips and then like everyone gets paid out at some restaurants. I don't know.
Yeah. I was once told I was the best waitress they've ever had and the worst
Whoa.
waitress they've ever had in the same night. Literally in the
Wow.
same night, two different customers told me that.
She contains multitudes. You don't know what you're going to get. What
Right.
was your, I can just picture, I don't know. Why am I picturing you just being like
Phoebe
giving-
or Ursula.
I was about, wait, that's exactly what I was thinking of. You
Really?
being Ursula vibes as a waitress. But
That's
I stopped
accurate.
myself because I was like, is that mean to say? But
No.
you're admitting you were not a good waitress. So I think that's like fine.
Yeah, no.
Like I could see someone be like, "Ma'am, can I have a spoon?" And you'd be like, "Ugh, get it yourself." Like
I mean,
don't wanna
like
do that.
literally, I feel like I was Ursula vibes. The day that I was called the worst waitress, or what happened when I
The
was
best
called the
and
worst,
the worst
waitress.
waitress on the same day.
Right. I worked at a restaurant, and then when you ordered an entree, you got a salad. But I was like lazy and tired, and I didn't want to ask you what dressing you wanted on your salad. So like I just took everyone's order. And then when I came back later, they were like, "Do these meals come with salads?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, what dressing do you want?" And they all like got really mad at me that I didn't like bring it up on my own. I was like, "Well,
God.
if you wanted the salad so bad, you should have brought it up. Leave it
Wait,
to
so
me."
you weren't going to give them a salad at all?
I
or you
don't
were just going to give them the default dressing because you didn't want to ask the dressing?
Yeah, probably that. I just give them whatever dressing I felt like getting at the time.
Yeah.
But it's not my
Got it.
problem, you know? If you
I would
wanted
be kind of like confused if I ordered a meal that came with a salad and then they gave me the salad and it was like Thousand Island dressing. I'm like, I don't want this.
well, then you should speak up and say, "I would like the salad and I would like balsamic."
Right.
Leave it to the waitress. Come on.
It's literally your job to ask one question.
Okay, next one. Golden Bachelorette Encounter. Hey, ladies, I have been dreaming of the day when I get the opportunity to write into Bachelor Encounters, and the day is finally here. On November 9th, I was on a flight from Philadelphia to San Francisco, which departed at 8:37 a.m., when I felt the need to go potty. Wow, I love these details already. I head to the center laboratory, and when the doors opened, Susan from Gary's season stepped out and came face to face with me. I paused, I hesitated, and she so kindly said, "Hi, how are you?" in a few octaves higher than I would expect being on a plane, and with her big smile. My brain malfunctioned, and I couldn't remember to say all the things I thought I would say if I met her in real life. Like, where did you get that pink jumpsuit you wore on the show? How's your life post show? Can I be your friend? So instead, I smiled back and I said hi. I immediately texted my friends while in the bathroom so they could boost me to approach her. Oh, so they could boost me up to approach her. Once I exited the bathroom, the seatbelt light came on and the pilot says, we're landing. How am I going to talk to her? The second we land, I jump up from my seat since I was sitting in the aisle, and I get my luggage to try to jump a few rows up. She was sitting maybe 8 rows ahead of me and in the window seat, still in economy. She's like one of us. So I saw her walk off the plane and was hoping I can run into her in the airport. I ran through SFO looking for the iconic pixie cut and couldn't find her. So at a last-ditch effort, I went to baggage claim with the highest hope she had checked a bag. After waiting 15 minutes, she never came, so that's where my encounter ends, but was hoping to be able to get you a juicier story. I will say she is so gorgeous and striking, and even from the small greeting she gave me, she felt warm. And then she actually sent me a little clip, which I'll share a screenshot, and it's Susan getting off the plane, but I'll share it in the video. So plug for YouTube if you're listening and you want to see Susan getting off the plane, head over to our YouTube. I mean, I'm going to out your name because this was a great encounter. Delilah, phenomenal. The fact that we know the time of your flight, and that like you had to go to the bathroom, and that how many rows she was ahead of you. Like, these are the details that I live for.
I'm shocked Susan didn't check a bag. She's like, I guess like economic, like practical queen doesn't need to overpack for a trip. Can't be me. Couldn't relate. Like, that would be something that you could like drag me for. And the little like suspect will literally go on a trip for a day and bring a checked bag that's somehow overweight at the airport. And it's like, what did I bring?
But are you saying you overpack or underpack? Because I thought you overpack.
Overpack psychotically. No, but I'm saying Susan does not, because she didn't check a bag. She was being responsible. I can't go on a trip and not check a bag because I have too much stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I would never. Even if I was going 15
to put everything
minutes.
on a carry-on. No.
No, that's insane. Makeup alone, hair products alone, that's like its own bag.
Well, and also the thing too is like the whole rule with the liquids really stresses me out as far as products, because like I don't know what the exact size is for like all of my products. So then I just get too nervous. So I'm like, well, I just have to check the bag because like I don't want to have to throw anything out, because I have trauma. Because one time I was on a plane going, it doesn't matter where I was going, but I had bought a perfume. I was like on vacation, bought a perfume, but accidentally put it in my carry-on bag. And then when it went through security, they're like, ma'am, this is a liquid. Like, you can't have this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can I just like put it in my checked bag? And they were like, no. And they threw it out in front of my face. Yeah.
That is
so I have trauma.
Who's going to play you in the movie? That is so traumatic. I'm not kidding. What perfume was it? How much did you spend? I would be livid.
It wasn't super fancy because I was like a kid, maybe like a teenager. This was like a family vacation to like the Bahamas or something. It was actually, I remember what perfume it was. Ralph Lauren Cool. Do you remember those perfumes?
Yeah. It was blue.
Ralph Cool. Yeah. It was that. And I wore that in middle school, but then it got thrown out.
That is so what? There needs to be like an alternative like plan for when things like that happen. It can't just be you throw it out.
Well, so they did say, they were like, if you have like a clear Ziploc bag to put it in, you can keep it and like run it through the security again, which like, okay. But I didn't have that, obviously, so I had to throw it out. And then the annoying thing, because it was a smaller airport, because this was the Caribbean, I remember I was with my mom, and then she had like a Ziploc bag somewhere, maybe in like a different bag. So we went through and we're like, oh no, we don't have it. And then she came back and was like, wait, we have a Ziploc bag. Can we get it now? And they were like, no, it's too late. They were really not having it.
What is the Ziploc bag like doing?
Nothing. But that's like the rule, right? You can bring on a certain amount of liquids if you like put it in a Ziploc bag. I do think though, because this was back when I was like a teenager, where they were more strict with the liquids thing. I do think they've kind of loosened up on that now. That it's not as, because I can't remember the last time I put liquids in like a Ziploc bag and like placed them at the top of my bag in security so that they could like see. I've definitely brought liquids in. Like one time I was on a plane and had a whole water bottle in my purse, and then I got through security and was like, wait, what the heck? Like I forgot I had this in here, but like I shouldn't be able to have brought that on the plane. So sometimes I'm like, the security's fake.
Well, again, what are they trying to prevent? What are you going to do with the perfume? Spray people in the eye? Like,
I don't know
what were they
what
trying
it is
to
with the
prevent?
liquids, where like there's a certain type of liquid that you can like, I don't know, make a bomb with. Who knows?
I remember
This was after something happened on a plane, and this was like a new rule. Remember, like it wasn't always like that.
speaking of old rules, I feel like people don't talk about this enough, but remember when we were little, going into a restaurant, the first question they would ask you is smoking or non-smoking. Like, guys, if you are young and you're watching this right now, you didn't just have like smoke-free restaurants. Like that ages us so much. The fact that I remember going to restaurants, and I had an aunt who was like a chain smoker, and when we would go out with her, we'd have to go to smoking. And I'm 7 in the smoking section, 1, but then also 2, why are we acting like if one side of the restaurant's smoking and the other side isn't, that it's not all just gonna like go over there eventually anyway?
I know, a crazy childhood. Like insane. And it is so silly to think that like in the smoking section, it's not just gonna like trickle over to the non-smoking.
It definitely was worse. Like it definitely, I didn't like being in the smoking section, but like I don't think in the non-smoking section it's like clear and pristine and clean.
No, of course not.
Also, the waiters are all going from both, right?
What a weird time. Just the idea of someone like lighting up a cigarette in a restaurant is weird to me.
Anywho, let's keep going. Hello, love the pod. Day one thoughts here. Oh, I love day one thoughts.
Yeah.
I had to write because I just left dinner and walked past Jordan and Pascal eating at a popular Michelin star steakhouse here in Chicago. I was taking a client out, so I was trying to be professional, but so badly wanted to say hello to them or take a picture. As I was leaving, I asked, does anyone watch the Golden Bachelorette? They all said no, lame. So I kept walking out the door. Jordan and Pascal were laughing and drinking and looking incredibly handsome. They were taller than I expected and looked younger than their actual ages. Seems like they are good friends now. I would have died to have sat next to them and eavesdropped on their conversations, but no luck. Anyway, love you guys. Love you. Thank you for that. Who did you ask? Does anyone watch The Bachelorette? I guess just people on her way out. She said, as I was leaving, I asked, does anyone watch the Golden Bachelorette? But she like, to who? Just random people?
Maybe to the work clients.
Oh, okay. Okay, last one. I once delivered a pizza to Sean Lowe's house, and the man never looked happier than when he opened the door. I recognized him, but didn't want to out myself because I was working, and was secretly surprised to see such a familiar and handsome face open the door. He looked tired, but very happy. I heard his kids in the background chanting, "Pizza!" It was the cutest thing ever.
Aw.
That's so sweet. I feel like there's been a few about Sean and either pizza or like food in general. He's like a Matt James. Like I think he's a foodie. Food makes him happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
I just picture like a disheveled Sean Lowe, like with kids running around in the background, like, thank God the pizza's here. Well,
Anyway.
those are all the Bachelor Encounters we have for this week. If you have a story you want to submit, DM me at She's All Batch, and you never, ever, ever know. Maybe next time I will read your story. But we are off next week for Thanksgiving.
Yes. Give thanks.
We are thankful for you.
Of course we are. Yeah. But yeah, hope everyone has a nice, happy, and fun and healthy Thanksgiving. And then we're in the holiday seas.
The holiday seas. And so then we'll be back the following week after Thanksgiving week. Thanks to our sponsors, Honey Love and Cupshe. I am wearing, like I said in the ad, I'm wearing a full outfit from JoJo's Cupshe line. You can use code BATCH15 for 15% off all orders over $69. And then Honey Love, you can go to honeylove.com/she'sallbatch20 and have all kinds of savings there too. All right. Well,
You have to ask me if that's it.
right. Sorry. Right.
That's it.
All right. Well, is that it, Jackie?
I think that's it.
Goodbye, bitches. Happy Thanksgiving.